Welcome to Chasing Chickens, episode 2. Today we're going to be touching on creativity and motivation in the workplace. So first, I want you to imagine a very short woman who is needing to pick some pears high up on a tree, and the only ladder available is like a 10-foot ladder, okay? And so you're thinking, okay, how is this girl going to carry this ladder? You have a few options here. You can either carry the ladder in the middle to distribute the weight, you can ask for help, or you can put it on a wheelbarrow and push the wheelbarrow. Okay, so this was me. I'm a very short woman. I am not very tall. And I needed help grabbing some pears off of some trees. And so I struggle asking for help sometimes because I really want to be independent, be able to accomplish tasks on my own. But genuinely, when you are willing to think outside the box, ask for help, be creative, brainstorm with others, that is some of the best ideas that you're going to come up with when you're working with a team. And so surrounding yourself with good mentors and those who promote you to do and be good are going to be the greatest motivators in the workplace for you. And so I learned from this experience that it is okay to ask for someone to help you carry a ladder to pick those pears. And I love to work. I have lots of intrinsic motivation when it comes to working. I find it enjoyable. I find fulfillment in accomplishing tasks and very satisfying. But sometimes it's important to remember not to sacrifice relationships for work. There is a healthy boundary there, and finding that motivation and willingness to accomplish all these tasks. Another question is, when it comes to workplace relationships that you're building, are you willing to do things for your boss that you know are not legal or allowed because you want to move up in the workplace or want to accomplish things that can only be accomplished through means that are not legal? I feel like in the moment, it's easy to be like, oh, of course I would never do that. I'm not that kind of worker. But when it really comes down to it, if you think about one of your closest friendships, your closest relationships, would you have the courage to tell them you wouldn't be willing to do something that you knew you weren't comfortable with or that you knew wasn't legal? And so all of this is super important in the workplace. It's important to have creativity and that intrinsic motivation, but also making sure that you're not sacrificing your relationships for work, and also that you're not sacrificing your standards for relationships in the workplace. And so at the end of the day, you have so many different competing obligations that are fighting for your attention. But who do you really owe what your actions are to? Who do you owe? You owe it to yourself and to your standards. You owe it to the authorities and your profession and your colleagues and your family and your own integrity. And so at the end of the day, when it comes to working and finding that motivation, don't be afraid to ask for help, but remember that your standards should come first before anything that's asked of you in the workplace. Thank you for joining us this week, and we will see you next week.